Uh, Welcome to this week's training on more customers faster. We're all about lead generation, client acquisition, online stuff like that. Today we're going to be going through some funnel evaluations. I actually only had one submission, but that's okay because we only have 30 minutes, and I'll probably spend 10 on that, and then another 10 or 15 on a funnel that I've built for my workshop attendees as a start to finish example of how to generate leads using Facebook. And so I'll give you a quick preview of that. Won't have enough time to go through the whole thing, but if you recall from our last conversation, one of the most important things when it comes to advertising, when you're writing your ads for Facebook or Google pay-per-click or print or anything, it doesn't really matter what it is, you have to have a strong, uh, very clear picture of your perfect customer, your client avatar, and specifically, you have to know what keeps them up at night. What motivates them to make a decision as it relates to your product or service. Because if you don't have that, you're not really going to get them to do anything. So, um, I use lead pages for a lot of my testing. I also use something called Unbounce, and I use Optimize Press. This is leadgenerationpages.com is a redirect link to lead pages. It's my affiliate link. So if you want to sign up for that and get it, through my link, shoot me an email to support at morecustomersfaster.com, and then I'll send you a step-by-step case study of what I'm going to show you, the campaign that I ran. Um, if you already have lead pages, and you still want to get this from me, just shoot me an email and we'll see if we can't make that happen anyway. So here is, whoops, I gotta be careful. I almost ended the webinar. Here's what we've got today. So we've got a campaign that I built, and you're probably not seeing anything on the screen yet. That's okay. A campaign that I built for credit repair. Now, credit repair is a pretty big, broad market thing, and I think this is, the perfect landing page or whatever inside of lead pages. I've actually found that there are other landing pages that work just as well. As of right now, this page, with some changes, is converting at about 13%. So 13 out of every 100 people will sign up. So if, now let me just do some simple math. If I was paying a dollar a click, which would be expensive, right? Oops, where's my thing? Unless you guys want to do the math for me. If I was paying a dollar a click, whoops, it's 13 is an odd number. I'm basically paying $7.50 a lead, which, if you attend my live workshop where we go through this whole process and everything, depending upon how many form fields you have, I like to see a conversion rate on my first set of ads at about somewhere between 5 and 10%. So this was at 13% with some changes. I think before we made the changes, and I'll tell you what those changes are in a minute. Before we made the changes to this landing page, I think it was converting at about 7%. So a couple guidelines when you're building a campaign, start to finish, with a landing page, whether you use lead pages or not, doesn't matter. And Facebook, here's some metrics that you should put in your notebook. In fact, maybe I should just put this into the slide deck so that you have them here. I'll add it right here real quick. New slide. So we should have, your metrics are as follows. So if you run any Facebook advertising campaign, what I want to see is 50 clicks before I make a decision about how the landing page is converting. And I want to get at least one opt-in out of those 50 clicks. Ideally, I'd like to see something close to, so that's my minimum. And ideally, I'd like to see something that is, the 50 clicks equals more like 5 opt-ins, which is my, which is a 10% conversion, right? So that's a much better situation. But really, all I'm trying to find out is if I have targeted traffic and a solid landing page, will people sign up for whatever that particular offer is? If you get, if you get 0 opt-ins on 50 clicks, there's a problem. So either your problems can be in that scenario can be targeting. So you're sending um, the wrong people to your landing page, right? So if I'm trying to sell credit repair and I'm sending it to millionaires, they probably don't care, right? So that's one thing that you have to do. I see Mike did the math. Is $7.69 a lead. So that's one problem area that you could run into. The other one is the offer slash copy slash landing page. This is where a lot of issues occur, and you know a couple things. The target has to be right, the offer and the copy on the landing page has to be right, but also the advertisement, right? So the advertisement itself has to fit that target market. It has to pre-sell or pre-frame what they're about to see on the landing page. So we talked about this in past trainings, that if your Facebook ad is showing a girl in a bikini, and your landing page is how to reduce your mortgage expense, that's not congruent, right? But you'll probably get a lot of clicks just because of the girl in the bikini. So you got to make sure that all these things are correct. If they are correct, you should see at least one opt-in for 50 clicks, assuming you're asking for first name, last name, email, or just name, email. And ideally, more like 5 opt-ins for 50 clicks. And what I like to see is a cost uh, that's less than, $10 per lead to start with. So, sometimes I'll take over a campaign and someone's getting leads for, uh, 30 to 50 bucks, but they're asking for more stuff. They're asking for phone numbers and things like that. So, like my client, Ron Phillips, we got his cost per lead down to around $12, including a phone number. And so that's for his market, and compared to what he was doing prior, it was a vast improvement. So let me take you into some of the campaign stuff here. So we have this fix your credit quickly. Now, one of the things that can help increase your conversions is by having a more targeted market. I'm sure you guys know this is what in the internet marketing space we refer to as niche marketing. Well, one of the things you might notice is that right here I put thousands of California residents have already downloaded this guide. So the reason it says California on here is because when we built the ad, we built it to target California residents. So if we look at, let me just see, campaigns, credit repair, you can see I've used my naming conventions here. Okay, so you can see location is California, United States, 30 and older, gender is male, status is married, status is parent. So I'm looking for married men with kids that speak English, and I'm advertising in the desktop newsfeed. So you can see I got 2 leads here. I spent $30.96, so it's a cost per lead of $15. That's okay. One of the things you can't see is that when this ad first ran, this icon for the Facebook page was actually a picture of the book, and it was difficult to see, and so we changed that to a guy with a credit score above his head. So let's go look at this in the news feed, just so you can see it a little more clearly. And so there it is, California Credit Repair Help. So one of the things that you can do, so when you're doing an unpublished post ad, which is what this is, an unpublished post ad actually allows you to have this image and all this text linked to an external landing page instead of a Facebook page. So it goes here, right? But you're actually running the ad through your Facebook page, so you get all these this overlay thing. You can also get likes, so people will like your page, they will comment, they'll share, they'll do all these cool things. So one of the things I'll do quite frequently when I'm building a campaign is I'll actually build a new Facebook page, and this whole piece right here is an important part of your ad because that essentially becomes your headline: California Credit Repair Help, right? And then on the targeting of the ad set itself, I just set the ad to California residents. You see, that's 520,000 people. That's a significant amount of people that I could potentially get as opt-ins. And then I found that these kind of cartoony ads, at least for me, seem to work better than most. So this one I felt represented a good visual image here, where you're kind of chained to your credit card. Oddly enough, I think that this other one was the other one that did better. It's not refreshing. This one, oh, it's on a different campaign, not this campaign, but a different campaign. This one actually did better. But the guy holding the dollar bills. So both of these pictures, these are stock photography I got from photodune.net. Cost me $3 a piece. One of the things you have to realize about advertising or paid advertising is that it costs money. So, spending money on stock photography and spending money on testing ads and spending money on lead pages and all that stuff is just the nature of the beast. Now, one of the things you'll notice here is that the cost per click is $1.16. That's because the click-through rate was 1.205%. This one was 0.355, and the cost was $2.81. So what's interesting about that is that Facebook automatically, kind of like Google AdWords, they automatically send more of the traffic to the one that starts getting the clicks. So this one had a few clicks, but this one got more immediately, and so they immediately kind of stopped sending traffic to the other one. So the only way I can try to replicate this 1.205% is by creating a whole new ad set, which I did, and I'll show you in a minute. But my point is this: so I spent $30. But it was a cost of nearly $3 a click, right? I got 11 clicks and 2 opt-ins. That's a really good conversion rate, 20%. But my cost is way too high. That's why I spent $15 a lead. So one of the things that you need to evaluate when you're looking at the campaign is your cost per click. If I was only spending $1 per click, that would have cost me $11 and change total. 12 or 13 bucks, that would have been, a lead would have cost me like $5 or something like that, right? So that's a huge difference and something that you need to consider when you're doing these ads. The other thing is, and this is something that a lot of people don't think about or don't think about enough, is your headline. So I haven't actually gone through the process of split testing this headline yet, but I did write down 10 different headlines before I picked this one. So the fix your credit quickly is what I decided to use. And one of the ways I made that decision is I looked at other credit repair websites. I did credit repair keyword research. And one of the key phrases that came up a lot was fix your credit or fix my credit. So I just put fix your credit quickly. Now, something that you will notice, let's see if I click on this. This is something that everyone makes the mistake of and that you need to be careful with, and that is congruency across the board. So you'll notice that the ad here says free credit repair guide, right? And that the landing page says free guide reveals, and yes, send me my free guide, or send me the free guide. I didn't notice it, but when I first ran this campaign, this one said free report, and this one said free report, but this said free guide. And then when you click on this, what do you see? Send my report. That's not congruent. So one of the things you have to be careful of is if you're telling people you're going to give them a guide, keep it as a guide. If you want it to be a report, then make a duplicate version of this and then change all the words to report and then split test and see which one converts best. But I would split test the headline first, to be honest with you. But congruency is important. Remember I was saying about the girl in the bikini and then the landing page being something different? The same is true for the copy. You want to make sure that if this says free report, that the landing page also says free report. Okay, so that's something that you'll make that mistake quite frequently, and you just almost need another set of eyes to help you sometimes. So let's see. The thank you page, which is not really a big deal, is just, all set, blah, blah, blah. Click the button below. They click it, and it just downloads the PDF. Believe it or not, to get this PDF for the test, all I did was get a credit repair PLR report and, fixed it up a little bit and stuck it in here. It probably took me about 5 minutes. Most of my time was spent on actually writing the copy and for the ads and testing and finding the images. So, so having said all that, I think that's kind of it. That I just wanted to point out that you make sure that everything is congruent. That when you're running your ads, realize that you can test, these images and change them. That you can have a different fan page associated with your ad, and that this acts as a headline. That's an important thing to note. The other thing is that, just because this one's was converting my leads doesn't mean it's the one that I should run with. So one of the things I did was I paused this campaign, and then I built a whole new campaign using the same stuff. You'll also notice this. See how I put credit repair test 002 and then the date that I started it? That's a good idea so that you know how to tell which one is the newest one versus the old one. I set my budget to $50 a day. It's pretty typical when I do timeline ads. And then I have these two images again. And what's funny is that this time my click-through rate for the guy with the dollar bills was 0.15%, right? And my reach was 13,610. The reason that's the case is because what I did is I actually paused the other image and let this one run for a while to see if I could replicate that result that I had on the other ad. And then on here, I had a 0.456%. So this looks like the winner. So what I would probably do is continue to run this particular ad and this image, and maybe test what split test the headline right here. So free credit repair guide, quickly boost your score. I might actually add additional text or just change that up and see what happens there, or just get a whole nother image to see if I can just beat this image here. But right now, at 0.5% timeline ad click-through rate, I probably just stick with that one. And then try to bump up your conversions by messing with your headline. You'll actually find that if you change out your headlines, you can get an improvement on your conversion rates as much as 50% or more. It really just depends on how bad your first revision was, but that's one of the things that I would test as well. So first and most important is making sure that you're getting your clicks. So you make sure that you get your 50 clicks, and then if you're getting your 50 clicks and you're not getting a good opt-in rate, then you need to look at your landing page and your targeting and your congruency through the funnel process, if that makes sense to you. Then once you have all that stuff working, then what I would do is actually start testing this thank you page. So one of the things you can do if you're selling stuff or you're trying to get people to call you for an appointment or whatever is on the thank you page, you can have a sales video, you could have a sales letter, you could have an opt-in for your webinar, whatever you want to do, instead of just straight up giving them the guide, because you can always send that to them via email. Or if they exit out of here, you can give it to them in an exit pop-up, something like that. All right, so let's look at, let me just see. I need to bring up Jan's campaign. I don't know if she's on here because she wanted me to evaluate her campaign. So, so here's her landing page. And then she filled out the form, which, by the way, if you want to do the same thing, let me just see if I can't find it. Here it is. If you want to have your funnel evaluated and you're willing for me to share it on one of the webinars, you can go to URL that I don't have in front of me, but I'll send it to you. Oh, it's morecustomersfaster.com/free-review. So let me put that in since we're about to do Jan's. If you go to the free review page later on and it's not up there, it's because we're not doing them anymore. So you should take advantage of that now if you want a review of your funnel. So morecustomersfaster.com/free-review, and then you'll get kind of the same benefit here. So let me put that into the chat box for everybody. There we go. All right. So what Jan says is that she is targeting local businesses for looks like social media marketing. Yep. So she's targeting local businesses and a lead page that then goes to her blog. And she, let's see. She has a different image that she attached here. Let me just look. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. This is a variation of the same thing. So we have Tasty Tidbits reveal how you can grow your audience better. And then we've got free report reveals. And then download now. ComScore says use of video and email leads to increased CTR. Well, okay. So there's all kinds of things we can see. Free report. Let's look for the congruency, right? So we have the free report, free report. If I click here, it probably says free report because I think that's what it does on the page by default. Download now. So one of the things that I'm a big fan of is if you're going to provide a free report, this image should just be a 3D image of a report. And so you can get somebody on Fiverr to make a copy of that. And then if you want, you could have them insert this graphic onto the cover of your report, although I think it's a little too small. Also, this is an image that means something to us as SEO/social media people. It doesn't mean much to the business owner. So one of the things that you need to, so Mike says here, congruency alert. One of the pages says we, and then the other page says I. I don't know. He might be referring to the credit report. So, singular versus plural. That's another good one. Good catch, Mike. Yeah, he says CTR should be spelled out. My opinion is that you shouldn't use CTR at all because I think click-through rates or CTR or any of that stuff only means something to you and I, right? So 100% secure. Build your brand wisely. Okay. Coupon marketing to draw people in. Email marketing to solidify the relationship. Social media, expand your reach. Set alarms to track who's talking about why our business. I assume you're going to say your business. How to grow your brand and your business with content marketing, social media. Okay, so one of the things that is a classic copywriting mistake is the conversation referred to commonly as drills versus holes. So when you go to buy a drill, the reason you buy a drill is because you want a hole, not because you want a drill. And so what you're giving here in some cases are vague things like build your brand wisely. That's not going to compel me to download the report. The other is you're giving people drills. So coupon marketing to draw people in. Okay, that's a whole draw people in. So what I would change a bullet like that to is, increase your customer, your new customer count by 25% using this unique coupon marketing trick or something like that. Email marketing to solidify the relationship. So solidify the relationship is code for repeat business, right? And every business you talk to wants repeat business. So what I would say is neat email trick gets customers to buy from you over and over again. Social media to expand your reach. Okay. Instead of social media to expand your reach, how to leverage social media to get more clients quickly or something like that. Set alarms to track who's talking about your business. This one might be, you might be using Google Alerts, or you might be using some other tool. There's two ways you can use that. One is to find out if people are interested in buying from you. The other is to guard against your reputation, right? Reputation management. So you might put something along the lines of, find out what others are saying about you online using this new software tool or whatever. And then your headline is free report reveals is not very compelling by itself. I think you were trying to do something a little bit better here by saying, tasty tidbits reveal how you can grow your audience better. Again, business owners, you and I included in that conversation, care more about clients, which ultimately means revenue, right? They want more customers. We don't give a hoot about audiences. So change the language there as well if you're going to use a variation of that. So instead of saying, tasty tidbits reveal how you can grow your audience better, and then free report reveals, I would probably say something like free report reveals hidden trick to getting 3 new clients in 3 days, or some variation of that. So make it more specific, and it's a good idea to make it time bound. That's why I said 3 days. And then when I did that, I probably would make this not quite so big, because most people are going to read the headline, look at the picture, and then click the button. One of the ways you can validate that is by using, Crazy Egg or ClickTail, like some of the heat mapping stuff we've talked about before, etc. So one of the things we're missing, though, in this conversation, and it's key and critical actually to being successful, is the targeting of the audience. So unless you're getting a joint venture partner to send traffic for you via email or something, we don't really have a clear understanding of where the people are coming from when they get to this page. So one of the things that dictates what you put here and what are in your bullet points and everything else, and what the image looks like, whether or not you have your branding on here, all that kind of stuff, is where the traffic comes from and what's the mindset of the person that's arriving here. I'll tell you that if you're going to do Facebook marketing and you're going to target local businesses, your best bet is to target a niche market. So you're going to target, like, personal trainers or lawyers or doctors or whatever, because then you can say, free report reveals how attorneys can get, more cases and more money in 30 days or less. Something like that. So you make it specific to that audience. You're going to convert at a much higher rate. Your cost per lead is going to be lower. Your targeting on Facebook is going to be easier. And so the whole thing is just going to work a lot more efficiently. So one of the things I would encourage you to do, Jan, is to pick a vertical market. It doesn't mean that you have to only market to them, but it's pretty easy in lead pages to just go and create, 10 of these things by duplicating them, and just change the headline so that it says, free report for attorneys reveals, free report for dentist reveals, and change all those, and then change up your targeting, and then see which one works for you. But honestly, when you really think about it and you go through the entire process, you want not only your landing page to target specific people, but also your offer. So you should have a coupon marketing program built just for dentists, right? And you should have an email marketing program built just for dentists, or at least the perception of that. So Waldo asks, does your website have to be congruent to the niche targeting, or can it be more general? I think it depends on where you are in the phase of your business, whether or not you want your website to match this whole thing. So one of the things that I'll do when I'm testing, like I did with the credit repair example, is I don't have a credit repair website. Sometimes I'll go buy a domain name, but the credit repair thing, there is no website, there's no company, there's no nothing. Really, all I'm trying to do is find out, can I get leads? Will they convert? Does it look affordable? Does it look viable? Is this going to work for me? Yes. Okay, great. Now I'm going to go build the website. Now I'm going to go get the domain name. Now I'm going to go do all that stuff. So I don't even worry about that part until I get the actual ads and the landing pages converting. Then I worry about, the website and stuff like that. Now in this case, one of the things I did do is I just went and bought a couple domain names. I spent $20, $9 a piece or something, and got some domain names in that niche, just so that if it did take off, I didn't have to go and find some. Plus, you can use them in your Facebook ads, which you probably saw. Like here, I've got this creditscore0.com thing right here. I believe that's one of the domains I picked. So you can use some of those preemptively in your advertising as well. Let's see. Oh, her thank you page. This was interesting. I didn't really understand why she did it this way, because you can build thank you pages inside lead pages. But she has her thank you page set up as it goes to her website, which is basically a WordPress blog, for as best I can tell. And so this is the thank you page. It says, oh, it said, oops, that wasn't found. So it looks like you have an error on your thank you page, at least for the page that you sent me. So one of the things that you'll need to make sure that you do is have a properly set up thank you page. One of the things I like to do is I just use the thank you pages right inside lead pages when I'm first doing these things. And I even use the actual URL. I don't embed it on my website. I don't do any of that stuff. And if you go back through the training that I did previously about unpublished post ads, you don't have to do that. You can use this URL, but your ad doesn't actually show the URL like this. It says creditscore0.com. Even though I'm using lead pages, it still shows my domain name. Why? Because I'm using an unpublished post ad. So you need to know how to do unpublished post ads to take advantage of that. Um, anyway, that's the deal. So that's kind of the breakdown. I wish we had some actual advertising that she's running, but it looks like she has a lot of work to do on the landing pages and conversion and thank you pages and stuff. And one of the things you need to do when you set this stuff up is always test it. Opt into your own thing, make sure that you get the thank you email, make sure that the thank you page comes up, and that sort of thing. The other thing you need to make sure that you do always, 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 always is a Facebook tracking pixel. You have to get your conversion pixel. It's really easy when you're in your Facebook account. It's right over here on the left-hand side, conversion tracking. You just click on it, and you go over there, and you can either generate one or use one that you already have. And then you just take that code and you put it on the thank you page. So see this opt-in conversion right there? That's it. You view code, cut and paste this onto the thank you page. Boom. You got to do that. Otherwise, you're not going to know which ads are working, like, the conversion stuff that I just showed you, the stats that I just showed you. So that's all I have for you today. Does anybody have any questions? Because we're actually at the 30-minute mark. Anybody have any questions about that process? Anybody want to submit a site or for a funnel review? I'd be glad to help you out with that, as long as you're willing to share. Anyone? Waldo, Mike? Mike was just saying that the thank you page on the credit score was the one that had the incongruency in the we and I. Let's bring that up just to say. So let's see, fix your credit, blah, blah, blah. Yes, send me the free guide. Da-da. I don't really have any I's on there that I see. Thank you. Your email address, da-da-da. We've emailed you all the details. I see. Oh, I see. The email I've sent you. That's what you're saying. So we've got we and then we've got I. Good catch, Mike. Surprised you could even see that. The type's so small. I barely see that. Good catch. That's also a congruency. So, awesome. All right, so that's it. If you want to get your funnel reviewed, I'd be glad to do that. We probably won't do one next week. We're going to hit a totally different topic. I'm actually going to talk about more about analytics, Google Analytics, and something called event tracking, and how that can impact um, bounce rates. So I'm going to talk a little bit about event tracking and bounce rates next week. This is an important kind of an SEO thing, but it's also an important uh, conversion rate optimization conversation. So, if you're running a WordPress site for a client or for yourself or any web page, adding this adding this event tracking feature will actually give you additional details that you may not otherwise have. So we'll talk about that. Has this been recorded? And if yes, where can we find it? So you can find our past trainings and recordings at morecustomersfaster.com sorry. I take that back. youtube.com/morecustomersfaster. I'll put that in the chat box. youtube.com. And I would encourage you to subscribe. More customers faster. By the way, I've just finished I'll stop the recording now. Thank you.